목요일날 오후 3시 51분이 지나고 있습니다. 오늘은 제가 오전에 청평을 갔다 와서 광운대교에서 오전 8시 44분 출발, 갔다 와서 점심 먹고 한숨 자고, 자, 이 시간은 세상의 책을 읽는 때입니다. Self Matters, Creating Your Life from the Inside Out. Now it's time to get specific and put the plan to work for you. Practicing positive psychology coaching, assessment, activities, and strategies for success. For 3 hours every week, my fellow students and I would gather in the classroom and listen to lectures of the psychometric properties of the test. "14 Principles to Grow Your Business Like the Amazon." They benchmark themselves and their teams against the best. Change the culture, change the game. The breakthrough strategy for energizing your organization and creating accountability for results. Your ability as an organizational leader to ask a question, seek input, create dialogue, and get people talking about the right topics that will speed up the adoption of C2 beliefs. The digital matrix. Collectively, this broad sweep of example should help you develop your own theory of digital adaptation. 6 steps to college success. Practice testing and distributed practice received high utility assessment because they benefit learners of different ages and abilities and have been shown to boost students' performance across many criterion tasks and in educational context. Grounding out. The making of McDonald's by. We also have made energy consumption in our stores more efficient than in the average home for preparing equivalent meals. Public speaking and influencing men in business. Acting in earnest. Acting in earnest make one feel in earnest. A tragic legacy, how a good versus evil mentality destroyed the Bush presidency. While Iran had repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to seek cooperative relations with the United States. Relations between Iran and Israel have been genuinely and mutually hostile. Grown up digital. Grown up digital. Now, even though half of American parents use them, it's unclear. It's unclear how effective these filters are at stopping internet savvy teens from going where they want online. Internet savvy teens. The daily drucker. Yet here is the real control of the institution. The Lexus and the olive tree. So Japan's macroeconomic stumblings in the 1990s do not make it a bust. They just require it to adjust. Bust. Inspiration for innovation. 101 lessons for innovators. Do one you like most, and it might be one of your most productive days. The American Book of Living and Dying. Lessons in healing spiritual pain. Andrew's situation was increasingly desperate. Bad news and Andrew's response to it. Over the next few weeks, I continued to visit. The achievement habit. Stop wishing, start doing, and take command of your life. Change your surroundings. Change your surroundings. Agree to a friend's crazy plan. Tag along on a cross-country trip. The psychology of wealth. Understand your relationship with money and achieve prosperity. Learning. The learning phase is the period in our lives when we are beginning something entirely new and have the innocence of the beginner. How to solve it? A new aspect of a mathematical method, and we must lay our hand upon some definitely wrong point if we wish to show conclusively that the situation is impossible. 20 mega change, and why developing countries were not so keen. Annual CO2 emissions per person, tons. The regions that the conference did not and could not live up to the hype still apply, and they explain why dramatic action is not to be expected in the short or medium term. Focus, the hidden driver of excellence. They needed to be alert to new trends and to spot emerging emerging patterns that might matter to them. Better than before, mastering the habits of our everyday lives. Another drum roll. Sarah has decided to get one too. Drum roll, drum roll. Getting more. You are always negotiating. Get one you wanted every time. There were many volunteers to answer questions. The power of the story. Movement facilitate. Movement. Movement facilitate oxygen transport to the cells. What would Google do? Google is not just a company, it is an entirely new way of thinking. There is a movement afoot to standardize personal health records. Now discover your strengths. When you need to engage him in planning or problem solving, use the competitive word outsmart. Outsmart. Losing my virginity. Although Malcolm had opened up Hydro in principle, we still had a battle on our hands over how we would actually get the slut, get the slut. Mindfulness for beginners, reclaiming the present moment and your life. There is no denying this. Retail therapy. As the Mark put it, retail chains are fundamentally implausible economic structure if there's a viable alternative. Smarter the change. 5 tools to create new and sustainable habits in yourself and others. However, neighbors do feel that the give and take needs to balance out over time. Positive quotation 40 days. The best way to have a good idea is to have lots of ideas. The best way to have a good idea is to have lots of ideas. Conscious living. How to create a life of your own design. You can't win with the blamer. And as a result, they are pain to be around. Ecology. A region is an area of Earth having one or more common characteristics that are found throughout it. Everyone communicated, few connect. What the most effective people do differently. And if it started to rain, the game enter the cold. You start all over again. Out of the box, one-on-one ideas for thinking creatively. The invading, the invading, the invading substance was a mold called penicillin notatum. MOULT. Adolescence isn't terminal. It just feels like it. Do your best to prepare them to make a wise choice. Wise choice. Adolescence can be an exciting time. Exceptional selling. Exceptional selling. How the best connect and win in high stakes sales. It doesn't pay to surprise your corporation. The problem is not in the clothes itself. Thanks, Dad. One-on-one stories of gratitude, love, and good times. Thanks, Dad, stepping up to the plate. A faithful father. Hi, Dad. As I fought back tears. After a shock, the next economy and America's future. This is not to argue that reform in America will inevitably preempt uh, demagoguery or bitter kill the cow populism. The alter ego effect, the power of secret identities to transform your life. Just as the young baseball player lost his ability, lost lost his ability to play the game. Anthony lost his edge and began to make the mistakes. He desperately wanted to get his game back. Prisoners of Geography, 10 maps that explain everything about the world. The Americans had fought their way across the Pacific, island to island, at great cost. Everyday millionaires. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth, and how you can too. Think ahead. Millionaires are goal oriented. 5 minds for the future. In what follows, I focus on individuals who behave like professionals, irrespective of their training, committed individuals who embody an ethical orientation in their work. The value of everything, making and taking in the global economy. When in 2016, charges fell to $3.75 per mile, or $0.65 per minute, consumers gained. Win your life in 90 seconds. Think of any sport. There's no game if there's no failure. How to stubbornly refuse to make yourself miserable about anything, yes, anything. Using the principles of immediate reinforcement and the kick and the inevitable penalties on every occasion when you indulge in bad habits or refuse to engage in good habits like exercising or doing at least an hour's work on a paper you are writing won't absolutely make you give up your frustration, intolerance, and your tendency to foolish indulge yourself in pernicious behavior, but it will definitely help. Yes. Succeeding as an entrepreneur. Why entrepreneurs don't scale? I believe most executives can learn to scale if they are willing to take a step back and admit to themselves that their old ways no longer work. Why entrepreneurs? Breaking night. Carlos picked the land and the sea diner just off of 231st and Broadway, a place where the walls were decorated with plastic fish, plastic lobsters, and plastic ship steering wheels, punctuated by punctuated by bright pink fluorescent light that wrapped around the diner walls. Teamwork 101. What every leader needs to know. Without it, team members cannot truly work together. What's next? Follow your passion and find your dream job. Here are three websites to help you learn the ropes and connect you with potential donors. Hollywood Economist, the hidden financial reality behind the movies. Paramount, which distributed the movie God is P. God is P. 10 days to a faster reading. Zip through books, magazines, and newspapers. Understand and remember everything you read. According to researcher and on-screen speed reading specialist, the PAM, the best way to adapt to reading in the computer age is to rely less on printing done on paper and practice reading from the screen. The Grieving Child, a Parent's Guide. Connecting the past with the present may occur in bits and pieces over a long period of time, but each time you are able to put something together, you will feel better. Superfly. The unexpected lives of the world's most successful insect. The test is being touted as an early warning of disease risk from local mosquitoes. Kiss That Frog. 12 great ways to turn negatives into positives in your life and work. The 4 groups of people you must learn to forgive if you truly want to be happy are your parents, your intimate relationship, everyone else, and yourself. 4 set of people to forgive. Eat smarter. Use the power of food to reboot your metabolism, upgrade your brain, and transform your life. High levels of stress. A new study cited in Frontiers in Psychiatry purpose that our microbiome helps regulate our sleep and mental state through the action of the microbiome gut-brain axis. The smartest kids in the world and how they got that way. No one finishes a book. No one finishes a book, as far as I can tell, without the friends, colleagues, and family who listen to them talk about it ad nauseam. Practice perfect. 42 rules for getting better at getting better. This type of response would have communicated her support, but it also would have communicated that ultimately she was his evaluator and would have to act accordingly if his poor performance continued. Get out of your own way. The 5 keys to surpassing everyone's expectation. You are next. Richard Branson is hungry for all the thrills and spills life can offer him. 'Can we all get along? Racial and ethnic minorities in American politics. The city was returning to minority competition for unskilled jobs, while white had gained most of the skilled job. Skilled job. 2,600 pages for setting effective performance goals, ready-to-use pages that really get results, individual contributor goals, establish performance goals, not outcome goals, over which you can have maximum control. 50 Prosperity Classic. Attracted, created, manages, share it. The book was written for an American audience, and if you do not live in the US, some of the terms and strategies will not apply to you. What happy people know, how the new science of happiness can change your life for the better. They have so much that everything becomes meaningless. The 100 Simple Secrets of Successful People. I began to approach everything with a different perspective. And their minor slights were actually making me more competent. Your next season. Advice for executives on transitioning from intense careers to fulfilling next season. Explore local groups who gather around an interest area that you have through community, chamber of commerce, YMCA, or place of worship. Secrets of closing the sale, another type of prospect, identified by Jim as Betty Bargain Hunter and sometimes known as Cautious Charlie, always wants a little better deal than anyone else. Your $1 million dream, regain control and be your own boss. Unlike any other President-elect Obama understood the internet. In the same article, Al, a lawyer and money manager, said, when you think about it, a campaign is a startup business. You are best year yet. 10 questions for making the next 12 months your most successful ever. Will I make will uh, will I make sure this happens? Go through your list. Go through your list of goals, thinking carefully about each and asking yourself such questions are: am I going to do this? Am I merely hoping this will be achieved simply because it's on the list? The 5 a.m. miracle. Dominate your day. Before breakfast. Make time for fun. Multitasking is a myth and is severely impede your ability to dig deep into a project and think creatively. Bipolar disorder. Take control of your treatment. The trick is to find an enjoyable and rewarding job that doesn't destabilize your moods. Destabilize. Destabilize the Mastering Fear, a Navy SEAL's Guide. All the rest, the sense of accomplishment, the accolade, the power, the prestige, and yes, the money, all that was just glitter. all the rest, the sense of accomplishment, the accolade, the power, the prestige, and yes, the money, all that was just the glitter. Don't let the suffering distract you either. American history don't know much about. How did President Franklin Delano Roosevelt find jobs for 4 million Americans? As soon as he took the office in 1933, FDR rolled up his sleeve and went to work. How to influence people and become a master of persuasion. This is as such less a matter of persuading a person as it is initiating belief in them. How to read a person like the book. Find out how to detect and send messages of friendliness and the flirtation. The presentation secret of Steve Jobs. How to be insanely great in front of any audience. Just as text shouldn't fill every inch of your slide, your words shouldn't fill every pause between sentences. 25 days to better thinking and better living, a guide for improving every aspect of your life. This is the day to critique the news media. Notice significant world notice significant world problems being ignored or played down while the sensational is highlighted. Chicken Soup for the Soul, the Cancer Book, 101 Stories of Courage, Support, and Love. He had taken my advice. And actually visited all his friends and made amends or regenerated old friendships. Perfect praises for dealing with a difficult situation at work. We charged them for 2 business lunches on May 10th and 21. I attended both lunches, but we didn't discuss the client at once. Sing around the corners, how to spot inflection points in biddings before they happen. After porn and masturbation instance, the challenge for an innovation champion in a level 1 organization is getting people to acknowledge that they may be real value and the importance in becoming more proficient. You can't predict a hero from War to Wall Street, leading in times of crisis. We kept all of our employees updated as to their conditions and provided moral and financial support for their families. Talking money. Everything you need to know about your finance and your future. Your mortgage lender will hire an appraiser loan you about $300 to make sure that the price you agreed to pay for the home is in line with the home's value. Social media marketing for the future. Strategies for 2024 and beyond. Stay ahead of the competition. Leverage the changing online trends to grow your business. It doesn't take a futurist. It doesn't take a futurist to see the public sentiment on privacy is only growing stronger as time goes on. Increased privacy. Japanese women don't get old or fat. A delicious way to stay healthy. One 3 by 5 inch rectangle of usage tofu, thin fried tofu. The Platinum Rule. Discover the 4 basic business personalities and how they can lead you to success. Full of take action strategies. A learning and earning tool for the times. Don't underestimate the power of this fine book. It's easy for you to analyze the logic, to analyze the logic of their situation and make a good recommendation uh, backed up by hard data. Damn good advice for people with talent. How to unleash your creative potential by America's master communicator. But if you are afraid to speak out, maybe it's because it's just not worth the saying. Speak up. Future Incorporated. How businesses can anticipate and profit from what's next. Today's Internet is based on a network structure called the Internet Protocol version 4, which was designed back in the 1970s and allows only a limited number of IP addresses, the thing that shows where the computer is located on the Internet. Don't sweat the small stuff in love. Take a few minutes to unwind, slow down, breathe, and relax your body. Maybe you should talk to someone. at the same time, I'll bet, I'll bet, I'll bet that he's touched to his core by this experience that in some ways it makes him feel. As one man told me in the months before his wife of 30 years died, forever changed and alive, paradoxically alive. The book of question. Would you make would you make a substantial sacrifice to have any of the following? Your picture on a postage stamp, your statue in a park, a college named after you, a Nobel Prize. Then shouldn't we buy new ones? Master your time, master your life. The breakthrough system to get more results faster in every area of your life. The more important the solution is to your company or to you personally, the more regularly you should check to make sure that everything is being done on time and on budget. Stumbling on happiness. If you have even the slightest curiosity about the human condition, you ought to read it, trust it, experience, although this proved report once at the beaten. The last decade had seen an explosion of books about the poop. Created by choice, uncertainty, chaos, and luck, while some thrive despite them all. Using historical documents, we conducted a systematic search to identify industry peers, scored each of them, and selected the best match. The Vegetarian Myth, Food Justice and Sustainability. In 2006, the American Cancer Society said flat out that there is little evidence that a total amount of fat consumed increase cancer risk. Feel the fear and do it anyway. How whole is your whole life? Stop being mean to yourself. A story about finding the true meaning of self-love. Chapter 10. From complete pictures drawn by archaeologists, scholars, and historians, we now understand that these colossal construction were monuments to death, temples built of stone and filled with treasures to provide a luxurious dwelling place for nobility who had entered the realm of existence called the afterlife. Intelligent M&A, navigating the mergers and the acquisition minefield. The very senior managers can best communicate the vision of the deal and the related business logic. The new good life, living better than ever in an age of less. These programs, along with year-long paid maternity leave, allow French mothers to take care of their babies and survive economically. While America aged, as the V&E was also representing the city before the SEC on this very point. Its conclusion set up a firestorm over the simmering issues of the firm's independence. Maximum achievement, strategies and skills that will unlock your hidden powers to succeed. The first major cause of stress and negativity is the fear of failure. when TED lost control of TEDx. When it was founded in 1984, TED, which stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design, brought together a few hundred people in a single annual conference in California. TED's army of volunteers has extended its reach to more than 130 countries, but TED no longer completely controls its brand. Good leaders ask a great question, your foundation for successful leadership. The world is full of human lobsters, people stranded on the rocks of indecision and procrastination, who instead of putting forth their own energies are waiting for some grand billow of good fortune to set them afloat. Who instead of putting forth their own energies are waiting for some grand billow of good fortune to set them afloat. Express yourself. Lifestyle. People have different attitudes toward living. Some seek self-oriented happiness without any consideration for others. To them, happiness means wielding political or economic power over others. But most of these people turn out to be disappointed in their pursuit of happiness. Since man's desire is endless, nothing can fully satisfy their needs. Do you think you are happy? Why or why not? Begins vocabulary in practice, a chance to share the risk and rewards with others. Soul trader. Niche. the missing middle, and why business needs to specialize to survive. It also explains why many of them, as well as putting some of their eggs in the basket of a few big event films, are seeking out more dependable nesting places. Start your own import export business. Your step by step guide to success. You be the judge, the retainer is a smart way to assure yourself of an income on those problem products. Invention and the discoveries. First, flushing toilet. Sir John was a British writer. His grandmother was Queen Elizabeth's grandmother. For better, for worse, the science of a good marriage. A major report from the National Marriage Project at Rutgers University recently noted that many Americans believe the most satisfying years of adulthood happen before kids arrive and after they've left home. Hit the refresh. The quest to rediscover Microsoft soul and imagine a better future for everyone. To decide which problems to decide which problems her software should go after first, she invited quantum chemists from around the world to make presentation and to brainstorm. Overcoming textbook fatigue, 21st century tools to revitalize teaching and the learning. Auto mechanic certification exam. Reboot your business, reboot your life. Your future depends on it. At a macro level, desk floating also discourage office space as a status symbol. The undervalued self. Restore your love power balance. Encouraged by this, she decided to dialogue with the most human form of Dr. Death about resigning from a crushing job. The power of mimetic desire in everyday life. Her desire for anything more than ice cream had been destroyed. Under the food. fire up and fine-tune your employee culture. Well, that helps, I mutter. Great man, Brian says, mutter, mutter. Ageless the memory expert's prescription for the razor-sharp mind. Excel at cards and other games. Never miss an appointment or misplace keys, glasses, or valuables. See a man drawing a huge construction site. The unhealthy truth, how our food is making us sick, and what we can do about it. Only use part of the power in the package. How to make money in stocks, a winning system in good times or bad. The charts are presented in 5 configurations. Cup with handle pattern, cup without handle pattern, double bottom pattern, flat base of the pattern, and base on top of a base pattern. You need to learn to recognize these patterns, configuration. The chaos of the imperative. Born in Chicago in 1909, be enrolled in a music class at the local synagogue at the age of 10. You stress less. 75 valuable tips to reverse the apex of stress. The owner's manual for regaining balance in your life. Learn smart ways to stay young and get seen despite inevitable stress. Create your backup plan. Food justice. Though the increased numbers of low-income shoppers, and the renewal and expansion of some low-income and bridge markets was still modest. These advances reaffirmed the food justice argument that good food needed to be and could be available for all. Through asset-based thinking, change the way you see other people. Asset-based thinking make you consider your flaws, shortcomings, and limitations as important to who you are and the one you have to work with. You see them as the complement to your talents, strengths, and capabilities. how to achieve absolute financial freedom. Of course, the value of such an asset does belong on your balance sheet. The secret language of money, how to make smarter financial decisions and live a richer life. Or perhaps that is something you so completely enjoy that it galvanize, galvanize you and bring out the best in you. What is your passion? The leader's guide to problem solving. Find innovation where you least expect it. 4 steps to having more aha moments. Companies wanting to fully exploit this tool should look to its master, the U.S. Army's Standing Enemy Brigade, where soldiers learn and improve even in the midst of battle, learning in the thick of it. The origin of financial crisis, central banks, credit bubbles, and the efficient market fallacy. According to the ideas of efficient markets, asset prices are the thermometers taking the temperature of the real economy. Wisdom of the heart, inspiration for the life worth the living. After many years of interpretation and word of mouth, much like word of mouth, much like the game telephone, a system of belief developed that resulted in a mix of many different views, some pure and others distorted. The luck factor, the luck factor. Why some people are luckier than others and how you can become one of them. The job opening, the job opening in the personnel office included the responsibility of conducting these interviews. The end of illness. In Snowden's 2001 book, 2001 book, Aging with Grace, Aging with Grace, which chronicled his experience, he writes that one of the chief messages to be taken from the study is that upbeat, upbeat attitudes and mentally active lifestyle may offer protection against the onset, implacable, and still mysterious dementia. The Big Nine, how the tech titans and their sinking machines could whopper the humanity, a failure to com- a failure to comply with health and wellness minders result in a litany of consequences. Change anything. The new science of personal success. 10 years into their marriage, 10 years into their marriage, as worries that Tyson is bankrupting her. Is bankrupting her. Manage your career. Of course, if your organization encourages open dialogue on this question, you can make your intention known directly. Your handwriting can change your life. If any of this fits and you'd like it to change, begin practicing this letter today. Unbeatable mind, forges resiliency, and mental toughness to succeed at an elite level. I lead by example in all situations. Comprehensive curriculum. The sky was dark and gloomy all the time. The genius who changed our world. Apple can get away with the mature look it sells now because the company has harnessed the power of an even more sophisticated kind of biology. The products don't just perform, they actually exhibit behavior. We recommend your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight for unexpected turbulence. Your next move, how to make a successful career change, reinventing your personal brand. Like the P&B, B did serious discovery work after his setback and then acted with conviction. How to win friends and influence people for girls, the secret to being popular and competent. She could have said something like, Italian sounds okay, but I was thinking more along the lines of sushi. Make time. How to focus on what matters every day. Each time there was no going back. Each time we wrapped our lives around the new invention. Each time there was no going back. Business Model U, or a one-page method for reinventing your career. Define why this customer is so important. On the High Line, exploring America's most original urban park. The Forbes Book of Business quotation. The men of the past had conviction, while we moderns have only opinions. National Museum of Natural History. Museum scientists study bones like this to learn about the evolution and the diversity of vertebrates. The silo effect, the peril of expertise, and the promise of breaking down barriers. The hitherto unknown Excel had placed a series of massive bets in the credit markets about the health of a collection of American and European companies. 240 writing topics. So you want to evaluate whether it is something you are able and willing to do for an extended period of time. How to be a people magnet, finding friends and lovers and keeping them for life. Research has proved that people usually wind up with something who is within a 2-point range of themselves in attractiveness. Emotional intelligence, why it can matter more than IQ. And the longer they had been in the program, the less aggressive they were as teenagers. Creativity, the perfect crime. I made a vow. I made a vow to do the longest series of pull up, pull up. I could each time I passed under the trapeze, pull up. The 6 most important decisions you'll ever make. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to impress a girl, you have to make some effort. I went on a really lame date the last week. The drop. How the most addictive sport can help us understand the addiction and the recovery, hence the phoning nature. Phoning nature of the tributes of those who have had a taste and want above all to remain in Slater's favor. Phoning. Phoning. What the world is reading. She, Ora, took her mother's maiden name, and came with her to New York when she was 15. Zero limit. Violent acts were extremely rare, usually involving new patients. Where monks made up a large part of the student's body, and the curriculum concentrated on Confucian learning. How to improve your mind. 20 keys to unlock the modern world. They do not want to be blacklisted by the merchant banks for having done them a disservice. National Geographic Sugar, The Surprising Life of Lions. Food rules. Be the kind of person who takes supplements, then skip the supplements. The leader praise book. 3,000 plus powerful phrases that you put in command. Your ability to get things done is admirable. We needed to get on the same page before coming to an agreement. The science of pep talks. The Leader's Guide to Influence, How to Use Soft Skills to Get Hard Results, Skills for Effective Challenges. Make sure you really understand your organization's culture, both formal and informal. Brain Longevity, the breakthrough medical program that improves your mind and memory. It was an elegant apartment owned by my wife's father, who was then a diplomat stationed in Brussels, and it featured a closed-circuit television system so that we could see guests as they entered the lobby downstairs. The Longevity Project, Surprising Discoveries for Health and Long Life from the landmark 8-decade study. They were generally bright and productive, but they were less likely to be very extroverted and trusting, less likely to get and stay married, and less likely to have children or to be extensively involved in helping others. To burn something is to set it on fire. I burned some wood in the campfire. Conquering the college admission essay in 10 steps. Crafting a winning personal statement. All right. This one is even easier to clear up. There is no such word as all right. Cross it off your list. "100 Simple Secrets of Great Relationship." If a couple doesn't plan how they'll work through the stresses of non-parallel career paths, they will likely experience relationship problems. Non-parallel. Branding for Dummies, a reference for the rest of us. Discover a dynamic system for brand creation and the management. To get an idea for how a viral marketing campaign is presented and used. Competing for the future, with a new preface by the authors. In the next two chapters, we consider another critical task in shaping the future of an industry, building the core competencies that will spawn the products and the services of the future. People, power, and profit. Progressive capitalism for an age of discontent. Among the many lifelong friends I met, there were Anthony, one of my first students, and James, then a young lecturer and the researcher. Starting a food truck business, everything you need to succeed with your kitchen on wheels. Print and issue checks. Each check should indicate the gross pay and total number of hours worked, with all tax and social security deductions itemized. The softer side of negotiation, how to win before the bargaining even begins, how to succeed in new situations. The sharks are professional negotiators who want to knock the entrepreneurs off balance so that it will be easier to take ownership of their good ideas at the lowest price possible. Psychology for Dummies, your fun and easy guide to the basics of human behavior. Two subtypes exist: hostile aggression driven by anger and is an end in itself. Presentation in everyday life. Your special mentor. Most of us have had mentors, people who have guided us through many of life's challenges. The Korean way in business, understanding and dealing with the South Koreans in business. The events are thus festive in nature, and by midday nobody is feeling any pain. The portable coach. Get that promotion you deserve. 28 surefire strategies for business and personal success. What does it take to become a classic act? 5 stars. The communication secret to get from good to great. It takes just a small amount of emotion to enhance the power of a story. Elite the mind. How winners think differently to create a competitive edge and maximize success. It usually goes something like, I want to spend more time with my kids, work less, and travel more. The first question is about material things. Stop. Culture shock, a guide to customs and etiquette. Once you get into a taxi, the driver may or may not ask you in English or Korean where you want to go.